Okay, welcome to Microphone Marketing, how to get ready, get booked, and get clients in 30 days. This is the last video, part 4, which is secrets to a successful event. And what I'm going to share with you in this video are the strategies that we use to put on events and fill the rooms. Everything from our simple monthly events where we have between 25 and 35 people, all the way up to where we've had over 250 people in sold out community events in our local market. These are strategies that we use still today that really create success from an event standpoint. Now, I want to caution you, if you haven't put on an event and you might not be ready to, that's okay. These are really important strategies to understand so you can begin to put the foundation in place and make it a whole lot easier when you get to that step. The foundation that I work from is the 3P rule. A lot of people ask, how do I start? I want to put on an event, and a lot of speakers make a mistake where they try and skip right over and they throw together a workshop and they have really no strategy. And I believe it takes 3 basic steps. We call it the 3P rule. The first month is dedicated to planning. You've got to do some thinking about what it is that you're going to put on and what it's going to be structured and all that good stuff. We'll get into that in a moment. The second month is preparing. That's where you're going to get the facility, put together your presentation, and begin to actually put the structure together for the event itself. And the third month is really dedicated to promoting, and that's where you're getting the word out and getting people registered and coming to the event. So this is not set in stone. It will vary depending on how much exposure you already have in the community, the size of your brand, but also it has a lot to do with how big of an event that you want to do and how it's priced. So just use this as a general guideline. For your first event, I definitely would give yourself at least 3 months to get started and implement that 3P rule. So let's start first with planning. There's a lot to look at when doing an event. And if you ask, an event planner, they can tell you that, there's never an end in sight when it comes to putting on an event until it's over. You're really not done planning. But I want to give you some things to think about more in terms of the structure of the event. I want you to start thinking in terms of kind of almost categories on how you would plan your event, because it gives you some different paths. So one way you could create your event would be a business club or a group. This is generally a small group of similar business people. They have similar interests, hopefully your target market, where they'd have some desire to get together on a monthly, a weekly, a quarterly basis to talk about a topic. Great place to start. This is kind of what meetups are all about, right? So a business club or group might be a great place to go. For us, we have the Go Big group, which is for business development, and the Business Speakers Network. And that's a business group for entrepreneurs and salespeople who use speaking to grow their business. And we get together on a monthly basis and talk about that topic. So I love this because anybody can do it. You can start with any size group, and you can start with any budget, and you can do it with no budget, which is just as important. So really think about maybe starting that as the foundation for yourself. Another option for planning might be to plan an informational meeting. This is used really well in the professional services realm. So financial planners and CPAs, chiropractors, they'll put on an informational meeting to teach the community or their client base more about what it is they do. And so you get an opportunity to kind of showcase your skills and your talent and hopefully acquire some clients in the process. That might be a way. Seminars and workshops. Seminars, this is how we define them, and there's no set rule here. Typically, a seminar is a half day or less and usually charges a fee where you're teaching a service, right? So we put on half-day seminars in the past where we've done them on management and marketing and all that good stuff. A workshop typically is a half-day event, maybe more, and it's really focused on a specific area of training. And those are like our workshop, the Business Speakers Boot Camp, those sorts of things where it's one full day of one specific topic. And then the last are events. We just call them events. For me, I define as an event as anything that has more than 50 attendees, because that really requires a different strategy and obviously a different plan from the beginning. So you can start anywhere in these 5 categories and make up your own. We started in the reverse. I started with a big event and worked my way backwards. I'd encourage you to do the opposite. It's a little easier. So think about a club or a group you could get together. You might be surprised who'd be willing to come share the room with you. The second thing we need to do is that 3P process is to prepare. And this is where we actually, get ready to put together whatever that event, that workshop, that seminar might be. And there's a few things I want you to think about as you prepare. I also want to caution you that you can't skip this step. It's not a matter of just getting people in the room. You've got to be ready for them when they get there. And you want to think about, am I going to be doing more of these? Because you can make your life a lot easier preparing not just for the one you're going to do this month, but for the ones you're going to do in the coming months as well. So one thing to think about is pricing. And this is an area where, in my opinion, I see a lot of mistakes. I see a lot of people who are really driven by their ego, or they're driven by the model they use within their business. But when it comes to putting on events, in my opinion, my experience has been that we really have to separate those two things. And I want you to really think about the fact that the goal is to get people in the room and get them exposed to you and your brand and your wisdom and expertise. It's not necessarily to make the money there. Don't forget what your primary revenue source is. And for the people that we're teaching, your primary revenue source is what you do for a living, what you do to build your business. It's not the ticket price at the door. And sometimes we get those things confused because you see a professional speaker charging a lot of money for their workshops. Well, that's how they make their money. You make your money as a chiropractor or a financial advisor or a life coach or whatever it is. Don't try and get in the business of being an event speaker, of a seminar provider. They're two very, very different things. So my suggestion on pricing would be, know what your competition's doing, and don't be afraid to have an attractive level of pricing. Now, my other suggestion with pricing is be flexible, but be realistic. I mean, the ones where they say it's thousands and thousands of dollars and then it's whittled down to, $4 to come in, is you can really devalue yourself. But I don't think you necessarily devalue yourself by having an attractive price to get people in the door, because at the end of the day, you want butts in seats. Right? So the second one is facility rental. We need to have a pretty good idea of where you want to have this, and you want to think about where your target market lives. What time of the event is it going to be? Is there parking availability? Is it easy access? You want to think about all this stuff. In the facility itself, you need to make sure it can handle what you're going to ask of it from an audio video standpoint, from a seating standpoint, the table arrangement, for breaks, right? Food, all that sort of thing. So there's a lot that goes into that. If you have any questions, I have a lot of experience in this area, and I'd be happy to share with you some things that you can ask when you're going to rent a facility. The last one is marketing materials, and you really do need to prepare a really strong marketing piece. And for those of you that have been to my events, my preference is a 8.5 by 5.5 postcard, an oversized postcard, and just be prepared to have that thing with you everywhere. But this is something you're going to have in a digital format. It's something you're going to put online. It's something you're going to email, and it's something you're going to hand out. And it might even be something that you mail. So design it accordingly, but put some time and thought into this. One of the mistakes I often see are that people create marketing pieces and they don't put any effort into it, and it really can hurt your brand. So everything you do to put on an event, don't forget, it's an extension of your brand. The last part is promoting, and boy, there's a whole bunch of ways to fill a room, and all I really want to do is give you kind of 3 general areas. The number one way to promote is to use your community, both online and offline. Online, this is our social media community. This is your database that you've built. Offline, this is your networking community, your clients, your circles of influence, people that you know where you can get the word out to, and that word will spread. Obviously, you have your contacts. You have people that have interest in your products or services, or people that you've met and worked with in the past. Somebody you have a relationship with. Don't forget to promote this with them as well, particularly those you've spoken for free in the past. And the last thing is call. And here's what I mean by this. Be proactive. You have to reach out. So many people think just because they've put on the event and they've put it online in a few places, they think that everybody's going to rush to them, and they wonder why it doesn't happen. Particularly in the beginning, as you put on your events, you need to call. You need to put the word out yourself. There's no substitute for hustle. Promoting is all about you, and it's all on you. And if you rely on anybody else, no matter who they are or what they say, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So don't be afraid to call, reach out, connect with people, and get them in the door. So those are some of the ways we can start thinking about putting on our event. And for those of you that are excited and ready to do it, I want to challenge you the talk to 10 principle. Think about what 10 people you could put in a room for some sort of club or small informational meeting, and see if you can put that on in the next 3 months. It gets you out of your comfort zone, but boy, it can really build your business. So I want to make sure that you know we're not done yet. We've got something really special to send out to you guys. I have a really nice resource sheet I'm going to follow up with, so keep an eye out for the next message we're going to send you. We also have a special offer for all of you business speakers out there. Hopefully you've liked the videos that we've been able to put out. They've added some value, and we're going to bring out something that hopefully will continue to do that for you. So thanks for watching, and keep an eye out because we'll have something over to you real soon. Take care.